thanks for watching the video. If you could do me and the channel a favor, hop down to the comment section and let me know what decks you guys want me to make next. And while you're down there, if you could drop a like and subscribe, it'd help out a lot. With that being said, enjoy the video and have a great day. Everybody, welcome back. Today we are going over a more advanced Terapagos EX deck. Most Terapagos lists have a partner or are like my previous one, where they're very straightforward and simple and not really that complex and not very viable for competitive play. This, on the other hand, I feel like is a pretty good combination of both, where this could definitely be seen competitive play as well as is not super hard to pilot. So let's just hop right into it. Obviously, our main attacker is going to be this Terapagos EX. We do have 3 copies in the deck. It has 230 HP, has that Terra typing, which is one of the most important things in this deck. Unified Beatdown for 2 colorless, deals 30 damage for each of your benched Pokemon. You cannot do this on your first turn if you go second, though, so you can't use this to get donks. So we will be wanting to go first with this deck. Anyway, most decks play just the Unified Beatdown, and they have the 4 double turbo energy, and that's the deck. However, this is built for post-rotation, so we are actually going to be looking to use that Crown Opal maybe, which for 1 grass, 1 water, and 1 electric deals 180 damage and prevents all damage done to this Pokemon from attacks by basic non-normal type Pokemon. So that's all your Raging Bolts, all your Roaring Moons, Miraidons, Gouging Fire, which surprisingly just took second in Meridia, so very impressive, just kind of came out of the depths there. But all of those basic Pokemon are going to be locked down by Crown Opal. And that's just super powerful, especially with how the meta has been kind of shifting. Charizard is becoming a little less popular. We're starting to see more Gardevoirs. Dragapult is still really powerful, but that's okay. We have different ways to play with that. And this deck can be pretty competitive, I feel like. So I'm really happy with how this list came out. Regardless, moving on. We do have 1 copy of Latias EX to give all of our basics free retreat. We do have a 3-3 line of the Hoothoots and Noctowls. There's no advantage of playing this one Hoothoot. I just have it in here because I only had 2 of the triple stab Hoothoots left in my personal collection. And I made this deck with physical cards and have been playing it recently at some locals and such. So that's why that's in there. Just go ahead and play the 3 triple stabs from Stellar Crown. And Noctowl is in here with its Jewel Seeker ability, which is super powerful. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you get to, if you have a Terra in play, so you need that Terapagos in play, you get to search for any 2 trainer cards. And that's just incredibly powerful. You can grab stadiums, supporters, whatever. Anything that's a trainer card can be found with Noctowl, and that's so powerful. So we do play a 3-3 line of that. We also play 2 copies of Fan Rotom. So once during our first turn, and our first turn only, we get to search our deck for 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 HP or less, reveal them, and put them into our hand. So that'll get either Hoothoots and Noctowls, or they can also grab us Bouffalants, which are in here for its Curly Wall ability. As long as you have 2 Bouffalants in play, basic normal type Pokemon take 60 less damage from attacks. So obviously our main attacker is that, but Fan Rotom is also, and Bloodmoon Ursaluna also is that. So really getting some value out of this Bouffalant in this deck here. And it does have 2 retreat costs, so that's where we get some more value out of Latias. And another thing about the Fan Rotom is Assault Landing is a very, very viable attack. For only 1 colorless, as long as there's a stadium in play, you're dealing 70 damage. Now 70 damage, for all those that have been around and kind of looking at decks, all these baby Pokemon that people are searching out with Buddy Buddy Poffin are going to have 70 HP or less. So that's knocking out all of your Dreepies, all of your Charmanders, that's knocking out opposing Fan Rotoms, Hoothoots, that's knocking out Mimikyus. So Assault Landing is actually a very powerful attack in this deck. We also have, as for other Pokemon, we have 1 copy of Bloodmoon Ursaluna. It has 260 HP base, but that'll get that 60 buff from Bouffalant if they happen to be in play at the time. And Season Skill makes Bloodmoon, all attacks used by this Pokemon actually, cost 1 colorless less. We're just going to be looking to use Bloodmoon. We don't have anything like Crisis Punch in here. But that is actually an option. Anyway, Bloodmoon does do 240 damage and can't attack next turn, but if your opponent is down to 1 prize card, you can do this attack for free. Now, obviously, Terapagos Unified Beatdown, if you have a full bench and you're not using double turbo energy, caps out at 240 damage. same as Bloodmoon Ursaluna. So your damage cap is 240. So we need a little bit more of a hit in this deck. So that's where the 2-1-2 line of Duskull and Dusknoir comes in. Being able to use those Curse Blast and put damage counters wherever you want is just super powerful, as well as giving up prize cards for things like Briar and making Bloodmoon cheaper. Can just be super important, making it so you can take very technical knockouts, whether that be targeting your opponent's important Pokemon, or just using it in pairing with an attack and taking out some big Pokemon. So that's all the Pokemon in the deck. So we're going to move on to trainers here. Alright, we have one copy of Counter Catcher. Again, with that Duskull TEF, we can put ourselves behind right away and use this going second on our first, going on our second turn going first. Get that going right away. Two copies of Crispin. Because we have the energy requirements for Crown Opal, we're going to be using some energy acceleration like Crispin here to make sure we can get our attacks online nice and quick. We do have Prime Catcher as our A-Spec. You can play around with a lot of different A-Specs here. But I chose Prime Catcher just because it acts as another kind of boss-esque kind of deal, as well as a switch in case our Latias goes down. So Prime Catcher is going to be my choice. We do have two copies of Night Stretcher for recovery in here, as well as one Rescue Board. Latias only affects basic Pokemon, which Noctowl is not. But Noctowl only does have one retreat cost, so we can smack a Rescue Board on there and call it a day. Then we have three copies of Nest Ball, just searching out which Pokemon. One copy of Boss's Orders is in here, and only one because we have the Counter Catcher, we have the Prime Catcher, so we're fine with just running the one boss here. Two copies of Arven to search for an item and a tool card. One copy of Professor's Research, just as a nice hand reset. One copy of Colress Tenacity. It's going to let us search for a Stadium card and an Energy card of any type. And then three Area Zero Underdepths. You could play four, but I settled on three. This is incredibly important for this deck, so you can hit big numbers with that Unified Beatdown. Each player that has a Terra Pokemon in play can have a bench size of 8. So not only is that important so we can hit big numbers with Unified Beatdown, but also because once we evolve our Noctowls, they're just kind of sitting, taking up space on our bench. And we really don't like that. So we need that Area Zero in play so we can keep on playing Pokemon out and making these decks consistent and playable. And then we do have one copy of Briar in here. So obviously with the Duskull TEF, we're manipulating prizes. And then when you knock out your opponent's active Pokemon with a Terra, so you can't use your Bloodmoon for Briar, unfortunately. You have to go ahead and use your Terapagos. But you get to take an extra prize card, which is just an incredibly powerful ability. If you're already behind on if your opponent's already at 2 prizes, you can play this at your start of the turn. Use a Duskull, and it will still be in play. So you can take a lot of prizes with Briar very easily. And then moving on, we have 3 copies of Glass Trumpet. So if you have a Terra Pokemon in play, that's when you can use this, but you choose 2 of your bench normal type Pokemon and attach a basic energy from your discard pile to them. So that's another reason why Latias is so important. It's so we can bring things to the bench when we need them there, and charge up, say, our Terapagos. Maybe stick something on Fan Rotom. Start charging up Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Bloodmoon can actually attack pretty fast in this deck, whereas a lot of decks have him reserved only as a late game backup Pokemon once your opponent has taken prize cards, versus in this deck we have the means to charge them up relatively quick. Moving on, we do have 3 copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin in here, so hopefully we're going to be finding those Fan Rotoms on our first turn so we can use them, because Fan Call is just so powerful. Being able to go ahead and use Noctowl is just an incredibly effective thing. Now, obviously someone can see us using Fan Call and maybe go for an Iono, but that's going to force them to use that Iono, and we could still end up finding our Noctowls. So we really like having the Buddy Poffins in here for setup. 4 copies of Ultra Ball are going to let us discard cards and search for Pokemon. And because of those Glass Trumpets, we're perfectly fine discarding our energy despite it being kind of scarce. So we play 4 copies of that Ultra Ball. 1 copy Switch, again, just in case that Latias goes down. You know, it's 2 Prizer at 210 health. It's going to be an easy target for a lot of players. So having these backup options is actually very important. 2 copies of Rare Candy in here for that Duskull TEF. Being able to hit big numbers quickly and out of surprising our opponents. Not totally surprised because they're obviously going to see the Duskull. But being able to just come in swinging is really nice with this deck. and 2 copies of Earthen Vessel. You discard a card and search for 2 basic energy cards. Get them into your hand. You can get them in play. So those are the trainer cards. As for energy, it's just a simple 2-2-2 split of electric, grass, water. So we're able to use that Crown Opal when we want. Otherwise, we're just sticking to Unified Beatdown, Bloodmoon, and Assault Landing. That's the 60. I've actually been really enjoying this list, having tons of success. So we'll go ahead and hop into the play tests here, and hopefully you guys enjoy. As you can see from my low rank, that trying to playtest that Ceruledge deck was quite the headache. Tell you what, I've had such a long day. We do want to go first with this deck. That'll give us the opportunity to evolve into our Noctowls faster. And this is not a lovely start. Oh man. We'll throw out Latias. Our opponent mulligans. And it looks like it is Gholdengo. Gholdengo Palkia. So, not a lovely matchup. 260, it's kind of an awkward number. Vessel. So what? Dump. Switch Rescue Board for... Or no, I think it's Switch Energy. Yeah, grab that Fan Rotom out. At least one of them. Drop that in. Go ahead. Fan Call. What are we looking at? We do have the other Bouffalant in deck. We have prized a Noctowl. Do we just grab the 1/1 line and establish Bouffalant? Because that makes them discard 2 more for knockouts. We're not really afraid of the Donk here, so I think we can get away with having the 1 Noctowl set up. Then we'll find a Terapagos with that Ultra Ball on the following turn. So we'll go ahead and retreat ourselves into that Fan Rotom, I think would be best. Are we afraid of Iono? They're probably Arvening here to get a TM Evo if they're playing that list. Otherwise, they might Cypher Maniac to guarantee a top deck. So I think we are just going to pass there. I'm not too afraid of the Iono. Hopefully that's not wrong on my part. It is the Barrel Palkia list. They're just going to set up those Gimmighoul's so they can all evolve into Gholdengo's next turn for super powerful draw support. Concealed cards for another Gimmighoul. Now, if they establish Palkia, I mean, that is going to be a little scary because our Fan Rotoms can fall really easily victim to Radiant Greninja. Thankfully, Bouffalants and Noctowls do have 100 health, so just outside of Moonlight Shuriken range. Just going to continue his coin toss and hope for 4 heads. They do still get 40 damage off of that, so... But that doesn't do anything because of Bouffalant, which I kind of forgot about there, I'm going to be honest. Arven might actually be Nest Ball. Because then yeah. Should Arven be Nest Ball? Arven should be Nest Ball. Arven for Nest Ball. We're going to be able to find Area 0 Glass Trumpet off of our Hoothoot. Well, then there's the question, do we just want to Assault Landing? Do do we just want to Assault Landing? And does Dusclops fix any math for us? Well, Dusclops makes it easier to get Okos. Well, possible to get Okos. But then there's the question of, do we really need that? They only have 3 cards in hand. We might just be doing this. Do you have 1 electric prize, or did we discard it? We discarded it. And then, so is it Area 0 Glass Trumpet, knockout with, I mean, there's not really any point to knocking out with Terapagos. So I think we just attach to the Fan Rotom. We do need a Stadium in play to Assault Landing, so we still have to do this to grab our Area 0. Which we will do, and then how do we feel? Glass Trumpet maybe? What do we all have going on? Could be Crispin for next turn. Well, Glass Trumpet would work for next turn as well. Could be Boss. There's a lot of decisions that are to be made with this deck. Man, I'm really not sure. Glass Trumpet. Oh, we barely got that in time. And we'll stick it on there right away, just in case we do get Ioned. This Rescue Board can go onto that Noctowl now. We need Area 0 in play. Then we can go ahead and Assault Landing for first knockout of the game. Our opponent only has 3 cards in hand. They do have access to Radiant Greninja right now. We just gave them access to Pheasantipede. And of course, if they have Bouffalant in their hand, they're going to see plenty of cards this turn. So Gholdengo decks don't really have a struggle with seeing cards. But it's nice that we get to take a knockout with a single prizer, as well as having this Bouffalant established is going to make it really hard for our opponent to take knockouts, because they're going to need to discard 2 energy. So for example, they're going to need to take, what, 3 energy? 4 energy? 3 energy? Yeah. 3 energy to knock out this Fan Rotom. So really nice there. Yeah, and they're trying to decide what to promote. Something tells me they don't have the Bibarel. Because otherwise, it would have been a very quick decision. They would have just promoted a Gimmighoul, assuming they'd find some way to work into Gholdengo. Especially because they have a backup Gimmighoul established. See, this is where that Assault Landing is really nice. Exactly 70 damage is anything with Buddy Buddy Poppin' falls victim to it. Okay, what else? What do we have? They already have 2 energy and discard. So, only 4 cards in hand. I don't think our opponent really has much going on. So I think going for the Assault Landing was best there. And even if they bump the Area 0, I mean, sure, it's annoying because we can't get any more Hoots in play and we can't get any Duskulls going or anything like that. But we have the Bouffalant. Yeah, they have nothing. They just have to pass there. So what are we thinking? Do we just start filling our bench up? Because Ultra Ball doesn't really find us anything super important here. So I think we're fine with just starting to fill our bench. We'll grab a Duskull and a second Hoothoot so we can start establishing that. And then do we just want to attach? I think we will. We'll just attach. There's no point in trying to save up for the Glass Trumpet play. This next turn, unless we top deck something great, we can just Ultra Ball whatever we get for Noctowl. But there it is, off the prizes. Assault Landing is really putting in work here. Don't even have to see the Terapagos. Once again, our opponent is unsure of what to promote. We might have gotten a disconnect even. Yeah, probably saw their Gimmighoul do 0 damage because of the Bouffalants. On to the next game then. Alright, going ahead, getting into that second playtest here for our Terapagos deck. We do want to go first. So yeah, we did technically win over Gholdengo. Could have been internet issues. Could have been they saw their stuff do 0 damage. We'll never know. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to find a Fan Rotom this turn, which is very unlikely for this deck. Doesn't happen very often between our Buddy Poffins, our Ultra Balls, our Nest Balls. We usually have some way to find it, but unless we top deck something here, nope. Okay, so it is an evolution deck. So we're actually in a really, really ugly spot, because we have no way to get Terapagos out, and with no way to get Terapagos out, we can't use our Noctowls. I'm curious to see what they go for here. Just attach and pass. Alright, we're getting another chance here. And it's a Night Stretcher, so we don't have anything. We'll just pass it right back. We could be attaching stuff here, but there's really no point to. We have the Latias here. I mean, we could go Earthen Vessel and just thin out 2 cards that way, but should be fine. And our opponent seems to have nothing, so a whole lot of nothing going back and forth. And there we go. That's something. Ultra Ball, or Nest Ball, excuse me, is going to grab me that Terapagos that we so desperately need. And now we got to think, what do we actually want to do here? What is going to be our plan of action? We could grab Glass Trumpet, and we could Earthen Vessel away this energy. Yeah, and that would win. So we're definitely doing that. So a whole lot of nothing from both me and my opponent. But you know what? Sometimes that just happens. And as you see, as soon as either of us did have something, the game was over. Capture Glass Trumpet, Area 0. Oh, we already had Area 0 in hand. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go on to the next game again then. Alright, so we are in our third and hopefully final game here. Our previous 2 have been kind of incredibly disappointing. We do get to go first, even though our opponent won the coin flip, so that's good. Alright, we do start Terapagos. We might actually start Duskull, just because if it's a Raging Bolt matchup. Okay, so it is actually the Feraligatr Mimikyu deck. Or Munkidori, not Mimikyu. Feraligatr Munkidori. Which means they probably do play Mimikyu. I think it does, yeah. It's Feraligatr, Mimikyu. So, that being said, we're not afraid of donks. Actually, well, I don't think there's a Crispin. But they might have put one in their own list, because I put together my own rendition of this that did run Mimikyu, or did run Crispin, just because I felt that when it played a little too slow. Yeah, we have the counter catcher. We'll just do this. Call the turn there, I think. Yeah, when I made my version of this, which let me know in the comments if you guys want to see, I did go ahead and play Crispin just because we had the dark and we had the water. Yeah, see, there's the Mimikyu. Oh yeah, and then obviously there's Relincanth in there. Yeah, you get the Arven. So yeah, they're just gonna go look to establish here. It would have been really nice if we had been able to find either a Hoothoot or a Fan Rotom or anything. Really surprising that we didn't find anything to get to them even. You know, no Nest Balls or anything like that. Very surprising that happened so frequently. Yeah, they're just going to go into the Mimikyu and pass here. And it's another Bouffalant. Well, okay. We have no energy acceleration. So we're just going to grab a Hoothoot instead of the Fan Rotom was the other thought. We're definitely dropping in double Bouffalant because that's going to hurt them a lot. And since we have a second Area 0 in hand, we're just going to go ahead and play that. Bump their Artisan. They might not have another one. In which case, this might also be another fast game, but we will see. They might be able to get their setup going here. Yeah, they're going to Grand Tree. We do have another Area 0 in hand, so that's okay. They're going to go ahead and get that Feraligatr going. So then there's also the question. Colress Tenacity. So they're finding another stadium to bump our stadium again. Or maybe they were doing that just for the Luminous. Are they using that to retreat? Nope, they're just passing. So, we have an opportunity here. But how would we exploit it? We could use Colress for energy. Or do we want a Crispin instead? We're definitely doing this. Really hoping we have Dusclops here. Now we're doing this. Oh, no. We don't have Dusclops in deck? No, it's prized. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. Well, then we have to use one of our Noctowls for Rare Candy. Rare Candy Nest Ball. Then we get to take care of this Mimikyu right away. Then they're behind on their energy attachments. Yeah. So it definitely doesn't feel good having to do this. Nest Ball, Rare Candy, Colress for the energy. Yep. So we're going to get knocked out on this Mimikyu here. With a Fan Rotom, so getting its value again. Which doesn't feel great going Colress for energy, but that is a very viable thing to do with this deck. And since we have no reason to have that Grand Tree there, we'll go ahead and bump it again. Go ahead, Curse Blast this Mimikyu. That gives them a prize card, but we also get knockout with Fan Rotom. And then they have a lone Feraligatr with no energy. I didn't even think of Counter Catcher. We could have taken out their Feraligatr. But I think we'd rather take out the Mimikyu because that would be buying them turns from Terapagos. They put the energy on Mimikyu, I think hoping that they would just attack with Mimikyu. There's that pesky Dusclops. But yeah, 180 is very hittable. I think they're just going to look to Torrential Heart here. And they do get an Artisan, bump our Area 0. That's okay. We have our last one in hand. I don't know how many Artisans this deck plays. Probably just the 2 and then 1 Grand Tree, but I don't remember. Yeah, they're just going to Torrential Heart. Probably just so they can Adria Brain. Gonna look to soften up our Terapagos here. Unfortunately, we don't have energy acceleration. And there's a Glass Trumpet, but we don't have any in discard. What do you find us? Any of those? We have Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball for Latias doesn't actually feel that good. Trying to think of a way we can get a knockout here, but I don't think we really can. Yeah, we still wouldn't have energy attachment. Are we grabbing Duskull? 50 damage. We'll grab a Hoothoot just because that timer is putting a little too much pressure. Which I absolutely hate the timer in this game, but it makes sense. It keeps players from just like not letting your opponent play. Because then we can Ultra Ball for Noctowl next turn. For now, do we bump the Artisan to stop them from getting another Totodile? But then we would be out of area zeros. I think we leave it, right? Hopefully that wasn't bad, because they already have the Relincant in play, which is going to allow them to get attacks off with Feraligatr. They're just going to go for the Adria Brain. They're trying to soften up that Terapagos as much as possible. The double Bouffalant is going to be really annoying for them, thankfully. Now, are they going to go double Monkey here? Yep. But do they have the energy? Nope. So yeah, we just get to keep doing what we're doing. Or Ultra Ball away Dusclops Trumpet. Or Counter Catcher Trumpet. Or Noctowl. Give us area 0. He's down to 3 cards in hand. Yeah. We're going to go Counter Catcher Trumpet because I don't see us getting behind in prizes in this game. Grab that Noctowl. Here I think we can go area 0 to go big bench, right? 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So we're getting knockout. We don't need to go big bench, so we're not going to yet. Go ahead. Jewel Seeker, yes, I would love to. Could be Arven, just so we have Supporter done for turn. We didn't do it yet, right? We haven't played Supporter? No. So what is it then? Arven Vessel? Sure. Then we can set up, we can get Buddy Poffin in hand so that we can go for area 0 and take a one-hit KO. I suppose we would have been able to do that if we had just gone ahead. We'll get rid of Dusclops. I think that's fine. We want, well, I suppose, yeah, different types, whatever. Just to conserve the energy, we'll do that. Then we can Unified Beatdown. Now, unless they can get a Feraligatr in play, they have no damage to move with their Monkey Dories. Which they might have it. And that would be why they promoted so quickly. But that double Bouffalant is going to hurt them quite a bit. How much can they even deal? I don't know. 12 more. They can only get one energy in play. They have the evolution. Still, they don't have a lot of cards in hand, which I think is their biggest issue right now. Because they're just slowly Adria Braining. And since we went and grabbed that Buddy Poffin, we're going to be able to area 0, drop it in, and knock out this Feraligatr. Because, yeah, unfortunately we are 10 damage short. But, you know what? That's fine. So there and there. Arven, are you grabbing us Nest Ball? I think so. And then, is it going to be a backup Terapagos? Or is it Latias? I mean, I don't think they have any rare candy plays in hand. So I think we'll hold it for now. We'll hold it for now and just go for knockout. We don't need anything right now. We have a Hoothoot played and ready for a Noctowl, so even if we get Iono, there's a pretty okay likelihood. Because we still have Professor's Research in deck. I suppose it's only one Noctowl, Professor's Research. How many Ultra Balls are left? 3? 3 Ultra Balls. Grab Arven and Colress, just hoping to get something else going. And at this point, I mean, the game is... I don't think they can really do anything here. Latias doesn't change anything. Nest Ball doesn't change anything. This all just remains the same. So we just go knockout, knockout. So unfortunately, the battles were kind of boring, but it's late. I tried to make a video with a different deck, and I have several things to do. We do get Iono, that's fine. We have knockout in hand. If they have a Luminous Energy, all they can do is confuse us. And they're probably just going to concede instead of passing it over. Counter Catcher to try and stall, so now we don't have game in hand. So that's where we probably would have wanted to drop in the Latias. And we get a Grass. And we're at the point that we can just attach and pass and just start going that way. So a little annoying that we didn't drop the Latias in, but I'm not too concerned. Full rest. Okay, we'll just discard our used up Noctowls. They don't even have any stadiums left, so not even. That's fine. They big bite for 0. Although we can't retreat, which is actually a bit annoying. We will attach just for when we can retreat. Research, looking for, there's Counter Catcher. We could have grabbed Counter Catcher or switch. Bring up the Relincant. So they tried to stall us for a little bit at the end there, which, I mean, it did work. It bought them a turn. And they just quickly hit concede before we could take our prize card, but alright. Yeah. It's been a really long day, so I'm sorry it wasn't the best of videos, but I do have a lot of fun with this deck. It is a nice deck. I hope you guys give it a shot, and like I said, that Ceruledge deck, it's getting close, so hopefully I'll get that out soon. Comment down below what kind of other decks you want me to see other than that Ceruledge deck. Like, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.